welcome back to another episode of Intentional Conversations. Listen, as always, we come back to back with amazing guests. And today is no other and no different. Today, we are joined by Crysy Johnson. And let me tell you something. I saw her as I see a lot of people or almost everybody, and that was through TikTok. So I've seen her through TikTok, and I was just like, wow, I seen you, Crysy, in a way where I was searching for like therapists who looked like me and who acts like me too. Like I was just like,
Okay.
I'm seeing so many therapists who's like comes on here and it's like really uptight and just like,
Mhm.
it just feels like they're like pretending or feeling like they have to fit a specific mold. And I'm just like, where is the therapist who just like, come on here and just talk to us or come
Mhm.
on and be themselves and not
Be their shit
really,
authentic
yeah, and
selves.
exactly, while also
Mhm.
getting a message across. Because I'm just like, how many people are you really changing lives for, or how many people are you really touching in a household you're really making a huge impactment for? If you're just like coming up and showing up and just like, hey, this is what you need to do, or like, just very like
Just
strict. And I'm just,
passing out information. No, yeah.
yeah. Like
Hmm.
we want to feel like, oh yeah, this is somebody who's speaking my language or talking to me and who
Right.
looks like me and who's like talking in a way that it makes me be receptive to what I'm hearing
Comfortable.
and comfortable. So
Hmm.
when I seen you, I was just like, oh, first off, I was scrolling. I'm just like, why can't I find anybody that's like loosen up a little bit? And then you just popped up, and it was just like, oh my God. This is who I'm looking for. So
Well,
I
I'm
just
glad you
want to just,
found me.
yeah, I'm just like, wow. I want to just thank you for your social media presence as a whole, like in
Thank
general.
you.
Thank you so much for all the work that you do, and thank you for being
Mm.
you, you know?
I try. I need to, and I always say that I need to do way more on social media. So the fact
Mhm.
that you found me is amazing because I definitely don't do as much as I want to. So I'm
Yeah.
glad you did find me.
Yeah, of course. Plus, social media is a lot. Like sometimes I just be like,
Mhm.
oh my God, I always feel like I need to post this and do all the things.
Right.
It is a lot in general. So the fact that you even
Hmm.
have as much as you have on there in general is like,
Hmm.
oh, you're winning. Trust me.
Well, thank you.
Of course. So, Crysy, let us know about you, all the things that you're interested in sharing, and then
Okay.
also why LPC?
Okay. So, like she said, my name is Crysy Johnson. I am located in Houston, Texas. I serve the entire state of Texas and then Florida virtually.
Mm,
I am an LPC, and it started, well, to be completely honest, I never wanted to be a therapist. Let's start there.
okay.
Yeah. So my undergrad is in criminal justice, and so that's where the bulk of my career has been,
Okay.
criminal justice. But in that field, and in the role that I was in, I met a lot of people that it just ended up being like therapy.
Mm,
In social service, a lot of times it's like a assembly line. You meet
mm,
somebody, you can kind of help them here, there, but you're not able to like really keep in contact with them, make sure that they're using the
mm.
resources,
Yeah.
if they have anything else. So that was a big thing for me. And then in 2016, I started doing women's empowerment events.
Oh,
So in that space, it was like, okay, there needs to be more help beyond this event because after this 1 or 2 hours, what are these women supposed to do? Like, we can't keep up with every single one of them,
yeah.
and a lot of the times, they want to follow up, they want to, you know, keep in contact, keep the healing journey going,
Mm,
but how do we do that?
yeah.
So I wanted to get more education. So I went back to school for counseling. Um, So like I said, it was not on my radar. But it kind of just ended up being that way because I did the events for up until COVID. So I
Mhm.
think that was my fifth year. And yeah, it was like my fifth year because I did an event like right in the middle of COVID, and we did it like
Mhm.
with the mask and the thermometers and all of the things,
Oh
girl.
my God.
Right. So when it initially started as, okay, I want to do like a waiting to exhale type function.
Okay.
If 15 women show up, I'll be okay.
Mhm.
First year it was like 30 women.
Mhm.
Second year it was like 80 women. Then it just kept getting, it really got bigger than I had anticipated. So like I said, I wanted to be able to keep, you know, this going beyond the event space.
Mhm.
So I went back to school and I became a therapist. And so
Nice.
that's my thing now, just the therapy and helping, people just grow and bloom beyond, you know, where they are, just blooming into their, authentic true selves.
Mm. Wow. It's like always so interesting to when I ask people like, how'd you get into therapy? And you're not the
Mm-hmm.
first person to say, like, I didn't even want to do this.
Mm-hmm. It's
So
not
that's
on.
so
Yeah.
funny. For those who don't know, LPC is licensed professional counseling, right? I'm like, I know, I think I got that right. So just to, add a little context to that as well. But wow, criminal justice. So how'd you get there in general? Like what drove you to criminal
Well,
justice?
that is what I wanted to do. As far as I don't know, is I enjoy working with that population. So
Mm,
I worked in pretrial services for about 12 years, pretrial services, which is kind of like probation before probation, if that makes
mm.
sense. So it's
Okay.
like while people are like still going through trial, just kind of,
Mm,
helping them with like court stuff, resources, making sure they have everything they need, for court, outside of court. So that is what I was doing, and that is what I was passionate about. But like I said, it's kind of like an assembly line. And
mhm.
I like being able to keep in contact with people, make sure that
Yeah.
they have what they need. If they need something else, how can I help? Or if I can't help, directing them where they need to go. And so after a while, it was just like, yeah, I need to be able to do more.
Yeah. That
So
makes sense.
yeah,
That makes sense, especially when you're working in a specific like organization. It's like you got a caseload. Once they close out, you just done with it.
that's it.
Like, I wonder how they doing.
Hmm.
I really never know.
It's people to this day where I'm like, I wonder what happened to that lady or, that man. Like, I wish I could, at least like touch base with them and make sure that they're okay, but
Mhm.
I can't.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for that. We're going to
Mhm.
skip into our icebreaker.
Okay.
And of course, we use our cards for our icebreaker. So I'm actually gonna shuffle the cards. I shuffle them because I don't want anybody to think that like I'm asking you to pick out a specific
Mhm.
card or trying to change the vibe of the conversation or anything. I'm also not the best at shuffling, so like I don't even know why I keep shuffling these cards.
I do mine like that too, so don't feel bad.
And is many times as I shuffle these cards, it always does this. Like I always mess it up and I don't know. So you would think I'll be like a pro at it by now, but I'm definitely not.
At least you can keep them in your hand.
Yeah, I know. And then my hands is all small. All right, so what I'm gonna do is wave my finger because you don't have your cards yet. So I'm gonna make sure this. There we go. And you just going to let me know when to stop.
Stop.
Okay, we got this one. All right. So this card says, what is something you keep procrastinating? Why, what is holding you back?
I would say for me, it's definitely going to be being as a therapist, being independently credentialed with the insurance panels. So
Okay.
yeah, currently I am on, like the various platforms like Growth Therapy, Headway, and all of the things. And
Hmm.
I went under them because it's easy.
Yeah.
You enter your information, they do everything for you.
Hmm.
And so I've had this, just kind of like this fear of doing the credentialing on my own. You know, we hear that it's just like so much and it's so much
Mhm.
paperwork and all this and all that. But I've actually kind of started doing it a little slowly but surely.
Okay.
And it is not that bad, y'all. I see like a lot of the therapists in like the groups that I'm in on Facebook, a
Mhm.
lot of them, you know, the same thing. They, you know, fearing just the paperwork and doing all of the things.
Yeah.
But it's literally a matter of going on the insurance company's website, filling out the application, uploading your information, and waiting for them to process it.
Wow.
That's
Why
it.
I'm like, why does everybody? That is like one of my fears. Like, just like
Hmm.
everybody makes it seem like it's such a huge thing where,
They do.
oh, it's too much paperwork, or
Hmm.
like if it's just a bunch of clicking buttons, what's the
It really, really is, girl. It really is. It's the clicking the buttons, uploading the documents they request.
Mhm.
If you do something wrong, they'll email you, tell you what you did wrong. You know, if you know, they may require that you know, send in some extra documents or something. But that's really it.
Wow.
And it's,
That's
you know,
crazy.
and as you know, as private practice owners, you know, just starting out, we got to keep all our coins, baby. And I cannot be paying people $200 and $300 to do it for each panel. Like, mm-mm.
Agreed. We need all our money because
Yeah, no shade to the people that do it because you get it
right.
how you live.
Mhm.
But yeah, I need to be able to keep my coins.
Hello. Felt that. So we're gonna move because this episode is actually airing in January. So top of the year, happy new year, everybody. Um
New Year.
so one of the things that I want to speak about because of the theme of like, you know, the new year, new me, new year, just trying to stay focused. What are some ways that you stay motivated or you plan to stay motivated within the new year?
Um, Calendars, lists, and writing things down.
Mm.
You know, there's this little graphic that floats around social media with a quote from Erica Badu that says, write things down or write shit down and watch. Oh, girl, I cussed. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm s- and watch things get real. Um, and that's really true. Like when you write things down and you're intentional about the things that you write down, and actually doing the work too, though, because you
Mm-hmm.
got to write it down and you got to do the work. Um,
Mm-hmm.
then those things do come to fruition or manifest, as we like to say. But definitely writing things down, especially with the calendar, because if I don't write it down, it's not going to
Mm-hmm.
happen. Or put
Yeah.
it in my little Google calendar, it's
Mm-hmm.
not going to happen.
Yeah.
So keeping track of those things, writing things down, and being intentional.
I definitely agree. So how do you feel about vision boards?
I normally do one every year. And it's really funny that you asked me to do this topic because normally I do like a vision workshop at the beginning of the year. That was another one of the events that I used to do. And I created a vision book to go with the boards.
Oh.
Right. So it's just kind of a little more detail about the things that you want to do. So once we, you know, get the pictures and all of the things, it's like, okay, what do we need to do to manifest these things or have these things, you know, come to life? Like what steps do I need to take? What do I need to cut out? What do I need to, you know, implement? All of those things. So I love a good vision board.
Hey, so what are some things? Is it like a generic thing or is it tailored by the specific goals?
So it's actually going to be, I would say, tailored by the goal because
Okay.
we write the goals down and then like I said, we put down like what we need to do, the steps we need to take, or what's holding us back,
Hmm.
focusing on like the things we need to let go of, the things that we maybe need to add to our thing. And we do it on 7 different areas. So career, family, faith, health, uh family. Did I say family? No, motherhood. And there's another one. I think just relationships.
Hmm.
So we focus on those areas and then just like what we need to do in those different areas.
Okay. What would be an example of like a family? I mean, you said family twice, so I'm just like, okay, let's go with family.
Right. Okay. So a family is focusing on like the relationship with the people closest to you. So how are those relationships? What do we need to do to make those relationships better? Are there things that we need to change within ourselves? Are there things that we need to communicate? Just things of that nature.
Yeah, that I'm glad you said what can we do within ourselves too. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
because everything in we were talking on a different episode about boundaries
Mm-hmm.
versus rules. And we were able to, learn the difference of like boundaries is like what we're gonna do versus rules is like what I need you to do. And how like, it's easier to kind of break a rule and disguise it as like you're hurting me in my boundaries, but in reality it's because you didn't take a lot of initiative to work on what you wanted to change within in
That
order
part.
to allow people to honor your boundaries and not the rules that you place on them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely happy that you said that, because a lot of people just like, oh, well, this person needs to do this and that or whatever. And
Right.
there's a lot of blaming. And a lot of people don't
Mm-hmm.
really look at within and see what
Yeah, they don't want
am
to take
I doing.
accountability.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So what about staying motivated? I mean, I feel like the first 3 months of the 3 months of the year is like the peak, and then we just like plateau. Like what is something people could do after like they're all hyped? It's January, March is here. I mean, February's here, and then March is like things start slowing down.
I would say that would be a good part of writing things down, because you
Mhm.
can kind of schedule like a check-in with yourself to see like what you've done, what you need to work on, if you need to
Mhm.
change anything, add anything. So I normally do like a quarterly check-in
Mm, okay.
to, kind of go over the goals, go over the things that I wrote down, and see like what I need to do as far as moving forward.
Yeah.
And then like maybe an accountability partner. A lot of times I don't know, how it is with the girls up in New York, Jersey, but a lot of the girls in Texas are very like closed off, standoffish, because they don't want to share things. They feel like, if I share a goal, like somebody's gonna copy off me, or,
Mm.
the evil eye is coming my way after that. And I
Yeah.
yeah, and I just, I hate that for us.
Hmm.
And it's good to have, a trusted accountability partner that you can
Hmm.
share these things with, and then y'all can do the check-ins together, or, they can check in like, hey girl, did you do this? Or what do you need from me? Or how can I help you? So a good accountability partner is good too.
Yeah, I think that's girls everywhere.
Okay.
I think that you
Okay.
have like a pocket of people who, or a pocket of girls who really want each other to succeed, and
Mm-hmm.
they like, very welcoming, and hey, you come on in, I'm gonna take you in. Let's do this together.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of girls that's just like, I'm not,
Real ugly.
yeah, it's like, no, like, no, look at how they doing it. They copying me and please.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of girls, I kind of want to switch gears and think about or talk a little bit about like society's beauty standards and how
Mm-hmm.
we are all made to look. I kind of wanted to talk about this because we are in an era, a weird time actually, where I feel like, sorry to say, but like, like the BBL culture is shifting into like the Ozempic culture or something, which is obviously it's like do what you want, but I
Right.
just kind of want to talk a little bit as we're approaching the new year. What are some things that people, if we want to, remain ourselves but look better, but we're also getting a lot of like social media downloads of like how people should look and what things should be and things like that. How would you or what would you say to anybody who's working on their journey and their fitness, but they are battling with the world at this point?
They got social media.
That's
No, no, really.
a good one.
Right. But we can't stay off social media, girl.
Mm-hmm.
But being true to your authentic self, though, just like what do you want? and staying true to the things that you want and the things that you desire
Mm-hmm.
in just in life, your appearance, all of the things, and know that like your journey is your journey,
Mm-hmm.
but it's up to you on how things go. So if you want to lose weight, you got to do the things that you want to do to lose weight. And a lot of the times people are doing things on social media um for social media, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think a lot of the times people are not really happy. Let's be clear.
Oh.
They're really just doing they just be doing stuff.
Oh.
Um, and that's just to go back to, I don't know how long you've been like heavy on social media, but I would say, I don't know how many years ago, but there were a lot of girls that were on the, like plus size girls that were on the, oh, we're the plus size influencers, we're this, we're that, we're the it girls, we love it, we're so body positive and all the things.
Mm-hmm.
You see those girls today and they're like 100 pounds.
Mm. Mm-mm. Not the same.
So do what works for you,
Mm-hmm.
do what makes you happy, and just do you.
Yeah.
It is easier said than done. I do know that, but just being true to your authentic self and what you want.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like I have like at least like two people in mind that I remember watching them and they were like just beautiful. I mean, they're still beautiful women, but they were like,
Mm-hmm.
in their truth. And it kind of like motivated women of like plus size women to
Mm-hmm.
feel comfortable. And then
Mm-hmm.
you look back up at them and they're like the half of their body is gone.
Like, where did they go?
Their body is gone. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, and then now they're promoting that they're going to the gym and like weight loss and look how this is what I did to lose X, Y. Like, what? First of all, how do we even get there? And then like you were just like maybe a few months ago promoting how happy you were in your body and in your skin. So what happened to the other half of you?
What happened?
So yeah, yes, I like that. Staying true to yourself, do what makes you happy, do what makes you feel whole and the best version of you. Yeah. Whew. Let's go. I, done with being messy. Um, I want to kind of branch off of that and kind of speak towards someone who may be having self-esteem issues. I know that you did a lot of women's workshops. Is that something that you probably like touched on surrounding their like self-esteem?
Yeah, we did a lot of work with self-esteem and just how we feel about ourselves. And it's really what you say to yourself. Like,
Mm,
it's your self-talk. So we do a lot with like affirmations, positive self-talk. I don't know how many of you guys watch this show, Being Mary Jane, and Mary
mm,
Jane would write the affirmations down on her post-it notes and stick them
yeah,
all
stick
over
them.
her mirror. So that's, something that I tell people to do, because it's all about what you say to yourself.
Yeah.
Because people can say stuff to you, but it's like, what are you saying to yourself?
Mm-hmm.
What do you believe about yourself?
I definitely agree. I feel like you could trick your mind into believing literally anything. So
Mm-hmm.
if that's what you're feeding your mind, that you're not enough or anything negative about yourself, that's really who
Mm-hmm.
you're going to become. It's
Mm-hmm.
definitely all about a mindset. Mindset.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So switching gears more along the lines of the new year, what about stepping outside of your comfort zone? I want to kind of get your take on how important that may or may not be in general, especially as, the new year is approaching and people have different like levels of goals.
Let me say this, and that's because I can speak from personal appearance, excuse me, that nothing good comes from comfort zones.
Mm.
That's it.
I did not think you
Um,
were going to say that.
Comfort zones will keep you stagnant, they'll keep you stuck, they'll keep you unhappy,
Ooh.
all of the things.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and that's in, whatever area in your life.
Mm-hmm.
But me personally, just like in a professional, personal, business,
Mm-hmm.
all of the things, I've been comfortable and just kind of stayed. And it definitely kept me stagnant, and just in a space of just not moving and just being stuck.
Yeah.
So finally, and that's, even with me starting doing my events, like I was just, and for in that space, I was just afraid because I had never done it before, didn't know what to do, I didn't know a thing about what I was doing,
Yeah.
honestly. I just knew that I wanted to do this event. I wanted women to come. I wanted women to feel better, do better, be better, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't do it for a long time just because of, just not knowing what to do. But once I started to do it, like everything fell in place.
Yeah.
Just things just started to, happen. And so it's like, okay, well, I have no choice but to do it because now I don't have
Mm-hmm.
a reason other
Yeah.
than, me still not knowing what to do. But it just came. Like it just happened how it was supposed to happen. And that's, what I always tell people, anything that's for you is for you. Like nobody can prevent you from receiving your blessings but you. And that's by staying stagnant.
Yeah, that sounds like also taking risks and being
Mm-hmm.
comfortable with taking risks. I definitely need to hear that because I definitely want to do an event
Mm-hmm.
soon. And I just keep thinking, like, am I like qualified to keep doing like do this
Why
or
not?
ah!
Why not?
I'm just like, am I ready? Like how do you know when you're ready to just step out and take that risk?
If you wait until you're ready, you'll never do your event
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because it's going to always be something that you're going to think like, okay, I don't have this, or I don't know how to do this, or like all of the things.
Yeah.
And okay, then you'll be like, okay, well, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And then
Yeah.
so much time is going to pass by and you
Mm,
won't do your event. You just
yeah.
got to do it.
Yeah. I agree. All right. I'm working on it. I'm working on it because it's just like, oh, I want things to be perfect, but if I keep waiting for perfect, it's not gonna happen.
It's not going to happen. Just start it and
Mm.
it'll work itself out.
Yeah. All right. All right. Listen, there's possibly a new event coming up.
Hey,
All right. So speaking of like event and being in like a leadership and a woman in power, I kind of want to speak about like high achieving women. And in particularly, I wanted to speak about like different things that we can do to give ourselves grace while also still pushing and trying to achieve ourselves. And yeah, I could stop there and then we can just keep going.
for the high achieving woman, I think the best thing you could do for yourself is have boundaries.
Okay.
That's at work, that's at home, that's in like romantic relationships. Have
Mm-hmm.
boundaries because we are going above and beyond like in every area of our lives,
Mm-hmm.
and people will take as long as we give.
Oh, mm-hmm.
And,
Sure.
we're super women, of course. We're like I say, we're doing everything for everybody.
Yeah.
And people don't take. They're not gonna consider the fact that, oh, she's worked 40 to 50 hours this week. She's tired. She's seeing
Mm,
clients all day, or she's been in the
okay.
office all day. She's been in the hospital dealing with sick people all day or driving around all day. Oh, but she's gonna do this. Oh yeah, let me show up and get that from her.
Mm-hmm.
Work. We go above and beyond. We're doing all of the things
Mm-hmm.
and we're burnt out. We're tired. And we're not appreciated.
Yeah.
We're not appreciated. They don't acknowledge us. They overlook us. And we're over here just going, 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 going. For what?
For what?
Barely want to take sick days. Don't want,
Oh.
girl, I'm going to take that PTO real fast. Real
Exactly.
fast.
Okay.
Real fast. Because if you get sick, they're gonna be on that line like, oh, do you when are you coming back? Do you know estimated return date?
Mm-hmm.
Girl. So boundaries. That is what the high achieving woman, that's like the best thing she can have is a boundary.
Mm. I agree. I definitely feel like I'm like everything is a trauma response. But like we're sitting with yourself and trying to figure out why are you this way? Why do you feel like you have to take on so much things or so many things at once? And
Mm-hmm.
why do you feel like that's even appropriate to even do? So setting boundaries is a huge one. I definitely agree, because if not, like you said, which I think is the most craziest thing, it's like, oh, I know that this she works, and me, for example, I work from like 8 to 8, 8 to 9 actually,
Mm-hmm.
because I have
Same.
clients at 8 o'clock at night. So
Mm-hmm.
and then at like 8:45, 8:50.
Mm-hmm.
So like being it, so I work all day long, even on the weekends. And you're
Look,
like,
I do too, girl. Mm-hmm.
hey family, thank you so much for watching. But make sure that you are subscribed. Be sure to like, comment, and share. And if you're listening, leave a 5-star review. Back to the show. And then you have the audacity to be like, oh, let me add a little bit more onto her. I know she's doing a lot, but hey, what's one more thing? How?
Mm-mm. I'm definitely at the get somebody else to do it phase. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So let's switch gears and talk a little bit about the business that you have. Speaking of high achieving women, the Bloomency counseling. What
Mm-hmm.
is it? What it like? Can you just tell us all about it?
Okay, yes. So back to the whole procrastination thing. I procrastinated on having my own practice. I've been licensed a little over 3 years, but I've been procrastinating on having my own practice just because the whole admin side of things,
Mm-hmm.
it's just very overwhelming. Very overwhelming,
Agreed.
and a lot with just like the paperwork and just I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So I started out on all the platforms. Of course, they do everything for you. Got really comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and then one day I went to work and they was like, "Girl, you're fired."
Oh,
Right.
what?
So yeah.
Excuse
So
me?
uh-huh. So at that point, I was like, okay, well, I had another business that I was, running at the time. So I had a whole office. So I'm like,
Mm,
okay, well, baby, this rent has got to be paid. What are we going to do?
okay.
So I just immediately went into private practice mode. And so, I added more hours here, there, and everywhere. And, I've been going ever since. That was August of 2024. So I've been going. Bloomency was born. I finally picked out a name and everything last January. So,
Okay.
well, no, this January. So it'll be a year in
Yeah.
2026. But it came about because, like I said, I like to help people bloom into their true authentic self, like whoever they're called to be. I like to, lay the foundation for them to bloom. So
Right.
bloom and see is like bloom into the person that you are and see how far you can go. um
Wow.
that's where that little was born, because people like bloom and see. And bloom has been just like a part of the word bloom has been just like a part of just me and what I do for a couple of years now. So I was like, I have to implement that somehow. But yeah, so it's bloom and see counseling and wellness boutique. I'm in Houston, Texas. So I have been heavy on the just gathering myself as a private practice owner and doing all the things and session wise, but I really want to get back into like the workshops, the events,
Mm,
eventually doing like retreats and things like that.
yeah.
For women, men, because I do have men clients as well.
Mm,
So I do want to do things for men. Um, but that's basically, just it. Like I said, I'm heavy into like the sessions and just doing the one-on-one individual, therapy, individual and couples therapy. But I have to, that's my plan for
mm.
2026 is to definitely just kind of iron things out so that I'm able to do more. Yeah.
Yeah, but how did you know? Like, how was that getting like fired and then shifting quickly and pivoting into private practice? Like, what? How did you even? How? Like, how
You
did you
know,
find out
I
that
didn't
your
have a
process?
choice really, because I was like, well, it's like the middle of the month. I have rent due in 2 weeks. Like I
Mm,
need to, you get fired, you don't get severance, none of the things. I mean, you can file
mm,
for unemployment, but it's no telling like how long that'll take, if it'll be
yeah,
approved. It's not
yeah,
anything that you can really just depend on. So I
yeah.
was like, okay, I gotta figure this out.
Mhm.
and I didn't have time to go applying for other jobs because that takes forever, for you to even get a call back if you get a call back. So I was like, okay, I have to, and I tell my clients all the time, like, you got to pivot. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what I have to do, what I had to do. And when I did an event one year, we talked about shifting and just being prepared for shifts and being able to just move when things change. And that's exactly what I had to do. I had to shift. I couldn't sit in it. I couldn't cry about it. I couldn't be mad about it because at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. And look
And
at you.
and honestly, I'm not mad about it because if I didn't, I probably would have sat there and been comfortable in that, that space because the job was really comfortable. Um,
Mm,
it was. So I probably would have sat there in that space, just being comfortable and being stagnant in that space and not, moving forward or allowing myself the possibility to move forward.
mhm. Yeah,
So I had to shift.
I felt that. I definitely at the what in late
Mhm.
April, I left a job that I was super comfortable with. I mean, I moved, so the distance was like, this is crazy. It just
Mhm.
didn't make any sense. But being able to just like shift and say, all right, what's next? Because something is not working is a very hard thing to do, but it's definitely
Mhm.
necessary and needed. So definitely that ties back into, the importance of taking risk and the importance of like shifting and pivoting,
Mhm.
as you said. So thank you. You have something else that I newly discovered. I think it's called it's and her G.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Can you speak a
That
little
look,
bit?
that's my other business that I had mentioned that I had
Yeah,
I
because
had wrote a
I'm like,
book
wait,
before.
what's that?
Yeah. So I started Energy uh, around COVID time.
Okay.
That is um holistic, my little holistic, spiritual and holistic wellness brand.
Mm,
So I sell like sage, incense, oils, crystals, all things of that nature. And that came about because those were the things that I started to implement in my life some
mm,
years ago. And the people around me were like noticing like the changes. And of course, I was like sharing things on social media about how things, were helping and how they benefit and all of the things. And so people were like, oh, well, where can I get this? Where can I buy that? And I normally will buy things like when I travel.
mm.
So I just started a business out of it, really.
Oh, nice. So how did
Mhm.
you get into like why like the holistic and oils? Like, is this something you've seen like you was influenced by or like
I
how?
was. So there, let's see, how many years ago? This was like right around the time I started doing my event. So like 2016, perhaps. Um, I was introduced to a woman. She used to live in Houston, but she doesn't live in Houston anymore. Her name is Lilith Shakti, and she was a holistic practitioner, and she introduced me to crystals.
Hmm,
And so my first crystal was a rose quartz,
okay.
and I would carry it around and, you know, just keep it on me. But I would notice like how my energy would be different and just how I would feel different, just like with, carrying the crystal as opposed to not carrying the crystal.
Hmm.
And so I just started to explore, like different crystals and, like the properties and what they, like different ones can do. And then like the smudging, which is, primarily people use white sage for smudging, but just like the different tools for that and just implementing those different things.
Wow. So like when you is it something that like your mindset was in, or do you feel like it was the crystal? Like, how does that work? It's like you pick up a. I guess what I'm trying to ask is like you, whatever you want to call to your day is the,
Mhm.
like what the crystal.
So so there's like different crystals that have different properties. So
Mm,
rose quartz is going to be for like self-love, just like clearing like your heart chakra, which
mm,
that's a
okay.
whole nother podcast.
Yeah. I'm just like, okay. I
Yeah,
understand.
so at the time, I felt like I had a lot of like relationship trauma and baggage. as
Mm.
far as like dealing with dating, and just things of that nature. That's a whole nother
Yeah.
thing. But so I started, getting into like the like I said, the rose quartz was my first one, and that's my favorite, I would say, still, because the heart chakra, and just helping with, just like self-love, clearing out bad energy and bad relationship trauma.
Mm.
And so, yeah, so there's different ones for different things. Like, my other one is going to be blue apatite, which is for like motivation, self-esteem, self-love. But there's like so many crystals, and they all have different properties, and they bring different things to you. But they do in fact work. And so, like, the question you had asked, was it something that was like on my mind before? Absolutely not.
Mm.
Because I grew up Southern Baptist, so that's not a thing.
No, it's not.
It's not a thing. It's probably shunned upon, um, in a lot of Christian Southern, like, yeah,
Mm. Yeah.
it's not a thing.
Mm.
So for me, what I started to do was just like explore things for myself,
Mm.
because a lot of the things that are considered like spiritual, um, you know, that people consider evil and have, like all these different uh definitions and reasons and meanings behind, it's not that.
Yeah.
It's not that. So I just decided to really just go and look into things for myself and explore and learn and do things on my own.
Now, listen, that's what you have to do, especially when you have a conversation. I mean, like I said, well, like you said, that's a whole nother topic, but like
Hmm.
when you have this type of conversation with someone and you encourage them to explain their reasonings and they don't really have one, this is when it's like, okay, yeah, I have to go and shift and make my own things or learn for myself,
Hmm.
because there's a lot of things that doesn't make sense
Yeah.
that we were
Yeah.
caught up on, that it's just like, why, where'd you
Mhm.
get that from? And you get
Where
old.
did you get it from?
Yeah, you get older, you start, being a little curious and asking questions, and you realize that the people who taught you these things have no idea. It's not written down anywhere. It's not anywhere. Anyway.
Right. That's a whole other topic for a whole other day, girl.
Whew. Anyway, we are coming to an end, but before we end, I want to ask you, what is one thing that you plan to be intentional about for the year 2026?
One thing that I plan to be intentional about is getting back into the community, because
Okay.
I've spent a lot of, and that's with like events and just offerings and things like that, because that's really what got me to this space.
Okay. Right.
Um, but and the ladies have been asking for it for years. And first it was like, well, I'm in school, I'm busy, I'm trying to focus on school. Then it was, I'm trying to focus on my internship. And now it's just, well, now it's more so me just getting adjusted to the schedule. And like you said, I'm seeing people all day every day. Like
Yeah.
my schedule is open 7 days a week. I have
Mm.
clients after this.
Yeah.
So it's just, and that's one thing I want to do too, is get my schedule together. I do not
Yeah.
want to see clients 7 days a week. And it initially started as like, okay, I need to have it open so I can get clients, because I got things to do. I have, I
Yeah.
gotta not skip a beat, so I
Yeah.
have to see clients every day,
Mhm.
so just being able to get back in the community and serve the community, that is definitely one of my main priorities for next year.
Yes, I love that. Definitely can't wait to your next women's event. If I have to go all the way to Texas, I've been looking for a reason to go to Texas, by the
Come
way.
on, girl.
I have been looking
Come
for
on,
a
girl,
reason.
because you definitely have to tell me when yours is, because I can, the girl likes to travel. So,
Hello, exactly. I've been looking for a reason, so I can't wait till you have something up, because
mhm.
in session we might be going to Texas.
Look, you are
um,
welcome.
So plug this. This is the part where we plug ourselves. If you have anything upcoming, we're waiting for the women's wellness event. But if you have anything upcoming, please, this is the chance to share, and also to share your socials. But it will also be in the description below.
I don't have anything coming up as of right now, But
Mhm.
definitely connect with me on social media. I will have some offerings coming up, whether it be like a digital something, maybe a virtual workshop. I do definitely plan to get it together in
Yes.
2026. So I know on Instagram and TikTok, I'm Crysy the counselor, THEE, like Megan the Stallion.
Ooh. I like that.
Um, and then, the name of my practice is Bloomency Counseling and Wellness Boutique. On Instagram, it is Bloomency CWB. And then my website is bloomencycwb.com.
Yes, and that is the way that if anyone wanted to book with you, if anyone wanted to just inquire about what you got coming up, that is the best way to do it.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
You are
joining
welcome.
us.
Thank you. I actually
Welcome to,
enjoyed this, girl.
all right, thank you. Welcome to the family, y'all.
You.
Thank you so much. If you stayed all the way to the end, make sure you're liking, comment, subscribing, sharing this with anyone who could benefit from this conversation. And we'll see you next time.